Hi, welcome to Soul Awakening Solutions. I'm Susan, and on this podcast, I offer tips and tools, guidance, and coaching and insights for people who are experiencing a soul awakening. I decided tonight that what we're going to do as we're approaching New Year's is I like to do a New Year's Eve reading. I don't believe in setting intentions so much as in setting goals and letting go of what's occurred in the old year and looking at it with some gratitude, thanking it for the challenges, and then deciding what is it that I want to manifest in this new year. So one of the ways that we can do that is to call on some extra guidance for each month of the year, doing a wheel of fortune, so to speak, of a 12 card reading. So I've decided to do that here this evening. So what I'm offering to my clients in the next few days is a wheel of fortune reading of their own for some guidance into the new year. So I've decided to do that also here to offer that for the group. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull a card and give some guidance for each month. I'm using the Divine Abundance deck. That's Tosha Silver's deck. And I'm also going to see who's going to bring us that guidance. And since I do a lot of work with the angels, you can hear my angelic healing meditations on Insight Timer or on my YouTube channel, or you can get angel energy healing directly from me by going to my website at www.soulawakeningsolutions. You can also learn how to do this for yourself. I teach a lot of psychic development courses, and I have a whole semester full of courses coming up this winter. But that's enough of that. Let's take a look at first who's going to come in and bring us guidance and assist us through in January. So going into 2024, who can we hope for some assistance from? And what is it that we're going to be assisted with? So let's check out first, what does January 2024 hold for us? So energetically, for those of us that are attempting to manifest, what can we expect? What can we anticipate? And how can we put that out there? And what we're getting is intuition. So what this card is telling us right away with the heart's eye is that we need to think with our hearts and really tap into that heart brain. So intuitively, we often think about the third eye and looking intuitively from our mind, but really our intuition isn't even in that gut feeling in our solar plexus. It's in how our hearts feel. Our hearts are really what's telling us what's going to make our soul sing. My last podcast, I talked about how our soul communicates with us through our emotions. And that's exactly what it is. If we want to manifest in January, we need to go into it from our hearts, letting our hearts lead us into the new year. And that's going to help us to attract abundance. So it says on the card, I'm going to read it to you, each person's road to the inner Lord or lady or both is extraordinary and personal. How liberating to listen inside and sense into the moment to moment, what is needed. And that's exactly what we need to do as we go into January. We need to actually sense into what does my soul ask from me at this time? And as I said, our soul communicates with us through our emotions. So go into your heart, drop into your heart for a moment and ask, what am I feeling? What is my soul telling me? And what will make my soul sing? And your heart's going to give you that answer. And we're going to ask, I'm going to lay that card aside so it doesn't come up again later on, although we will need to listen to our intuition all year. And I'm going to ask which archangel is going to come and help us with that. So again, Diana Cooper's Archangel deck, Archangel Azrael. Archangel Azrael, we often think of Azrael as helping people like me, helping mediums, because Archangel Azrael is the archangel who we call on most often when we're asking somebody to cross over or when we're assisting somebody with death. but also coming in to life. So Archangel Azrael is the archangel who works with our guardian angels. And that's she is the archangel who comes in with us when we're born and also helps us leave and transition out of the physical when we die. So what a great archangel to help us transition out of one year and into the next. So as the new year is born and as we go into January, invite Archangel Azrael in to come and help you with that transition and help you to birth something new. So let's move into February. And as we go into February, the month that a lot of us think of as that middle of the month is Valentine's in February. So we're often thinking about love and about that twin flame. So maybe this February will be the one where you solidify that twin flame relationship, or if you're still looking for it, bring that twin flame in. And of course, can't make this stuff up, divine love. So divine love is the card that comes up for February. And it says on the card, when you offer everything to the divine with detachment, you begin a love affair with spirit. So we're back into the heart again. And what we need to do is we need to fall in love with ourselves. And once you do that, when you fall in love with yourself, you find the divine within you. And when you find the divinity within you, you fall in love with the divine in everything and everyone. And even if you're still trying to attract a twin flame, or you're embodying your twin flame in one body, that's the way to do it, is to find the divine unconditional love. Drop into that higher heart. Oftentimes when people talk about the higher heart chakra, they think that it means up, but it really means deeper. Find it deeper within you. Drop really deep into your heart, past that surface love, and find the divine spark within you. And who are we going to ask to help? I'm actually going to guess, because when I talk about my higher heart chakra, and I'm going to show you, I'm actually shuffling the cards and not pulling one out. But when I talk about the higher heart, Archangel Zariel always comes in for me. I have another meditation with Archangel Zariel that I did with a friend of mine, Brad Walrod, and we called in Archangel Zariel to open up the higher heart chakra. So that's not who came in, though. We have Archangel Perlemiak. So Archangel Perlemiak is the archangel of the trees, of the nature kingdom. So we still have that green, but what we're going to need in February is to really get in touch with nature, to get outside. Or if it's too difficult to get outside, I live in Newfoundland, so sometimes February is a bit tough. We get a lot more snow here. If you can't get outside and that spring doesn't feel like it's really coming your way, get in touch with some plant energy inside. The plant energy is the way to open up and to awaken that parts, because when we drop into the divine heart, when we drop deep into our heart, oftentimes we find some stuff there that we're not really ready to focus on or deal with. And the nature kingdom can really lift that away from us. So call in Archangel Perlemiak in February to help you tap into the nature within you, but also to help you to get out into nature and to let go of all of those drearies that the winter blues can sometimes bring to us. That's making the assumption that you're in the winter, because that's where I am in the Northern Hemisphere. Of course, it's completely different for those of you in the Southern Hemisphere and for those of you who are in the winter and are traveling and finding the Southern Hemisphere. Personally, I like snow and snowstorms, but that's just me. Okay, so let's go into March. And what do we find in March? March is another new beginning. It's the mark of the seasonal new year. So we're coming into spring and we're coming into the change of seasons in March. So how are we going to continue to attract abundance and attract prosperity in March of 2024? And we're back to love again. It seems to me that we're going to be tapping into a lot of love in 2024. So in March, that love is looking like it's blossoming. Look at this. This is just a beautiful card as that blossom really starts to open up. And the card says, divine source is the idea that no person, place, or thing is your salvation. Your salvation is love itself. And so once again, as you continue to begin the new year, you want to plant some new seeds in spring. I'm tripping over my tongue here. You want to plant some new seeds in spring. Tap into love. Go deeper again. Really, one of my favorite things to tell my students is when we talk about shielding and shielding our energy, I tell them all the time, the strongest, most powerful shield you can have is love. Let love lead you. So as we go into March and as we move through March and into spring, we're still going to ask love to lead the way. And as we're asking love to lead the way, let's ask which archangel is going to help us with that. So which archangel is going to help us to move into spring as we let love lead our way? And we have Seraphim Seraphisa. So the seraphim angels always tell me that this is a time where something new is being birthed. The seraphim angels are the angels who help design the blueprint for Earth and the blueprint for humanity. So when we see the seraphim angels come forward, they're 12-dimensional angels. They don't drop their vibration for us. This is a time to really lift all of that love coming in to March is to lift your vibration, to raise into the higher vibrational emotions and to lift into love and to keep your heart open to source. And the way that we do that is to relax. It's not to rush, 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 rush. Human love feels like that. That's passion. And it often feels really rushy. But when we want to tap into divine source and divine love, it's more deep and it's more about that eternal love. And that's where we want to relax. And you want to deeply connect and relax into your connection with source and cause divine source energy in and keep your heart open because there's more to come. So don't let yourself close down now, even if you've released some of that negativity, some of those things that were hiding in your heart, some of those old hurts. Let those tears flow and keep your heart open and relax into it. We're going into April now. So going into April, we've got spring starting to come around here in Newfoundland. You might be going into winter in the summer hemisphere, going into fall. So let's see what April has. And I'm going to stick with my spring theme because that's where I am and where a lot of my listeners are in the Northern Hemisphere. But if you're in the Southern Hemisphere, I'd love to hear from you. And I'd love you to tell me what it is that you would find different. All right. April. Grounded. And you know, when the card comes in like this one did in reversed, it doesn't mean that things are bad, but it does mean pay attention. So coming into April, it's really going to be, I love that the lamb is there. We celebrate Easter in April, and it is the season of the lamb. And the thing about getting grounded is when we're dealing with all these electronics, like you are when you're on YouTube and when you're on a podcast and when you're working on electronics, our energy feels like it's high vibrational, but it's really that electromagnetic energy. And it's not quite the same as when we're trying to connect. So making sure you drop that grounding rod in, get out. If you can, get your bare feet into the grass. And so many people, I have to tell so many people this again, when I talk to my clients, when I talk to my students, I tell them the same thing. We're not trying to ground down so that we feel solid on the earth. That's trees, when they talk about letting your tree roots go down into the earth, it's so you can draw the earth energy up. So I always tell people, ground up. You got the tree roots going in there. It's so you can pull the nutrients, so you can pull that new 5D light that Mother Earth is sending up to us. So it says, many of the most evolved beings on Earth are regular folk living with joy, dignity, and courage. And that's the other thing. We don't need to be these high vibrational, all over the place, doing something spectacular. Just smiling at your neighbor is something spectacular. Think about how you can make that tiniest little difference. Each day, ask, how can I make that tiniest little difference? Because that's really the sparks that's going to rise the vibration of humanity as it is. So April, we're asking to get grounded. And I noticed that this little bird is sitting on the head of the, I'm saying lamb. Some of you might say it's another animal, but the little bird standing on the head really tells me that even the birds, even those high vibrations need to be grounded down, and we need to work together to do that. Okay, and so who are we going to ask for help from in April? Archangel Aurora. My bunny rabbit bit the corner on this one. I have a bunny rabbit in my living room. So if I can't get out to get grounded, he's very happy to help me get grounded. But he does like to eat my cards, so he bit the corner. Archangel Aurora is a beautiful archangel. She is, well, they're all beautiful, but she is the twin flame of Archangel Uriel. So she presides over the north with Archangel Uriel, and she always reminds me of a beautiful morning sunrise. So as we go into April and spring is coming out and we're starting to see flowers, that beautiful sunrise tells us that there's a new beginning and that we need to welcome the new beginning. So many times we look at a new beginning and we can often pass it right by. We pass opportunities by because we come to that new beginning and we start to step back in fear. We need to welcome them in. Those are the new opportunities. Welcome the new levels of light that are here. Let go of the idea that you're not embodying them. Let go of the idea that you're not moving up into that vibration. Welcome the new light in and let go of the idea that you're not good enough or that you're not ready. It wouldn't show up if you weren't ready. So welcome the new beginnings coming in April. And if you're having difficulty with that, if you're having difficulty embodying this new life that you're living, then invite Archangel Aurora in and she will help you with that. Let's go into May. May is Mother's Day. It's also when my birthday is, but we're not going to talk about that. So let's go into May month and let's see what, as I said, the Northern Hemisphere, we're moving in through spring, the middle of spring. I suspect that would mean that out in the Southern Hemisphere, you're in the middle of fall. And we're going to see what do we have in May month as we're in the mid-season. How are we going to attract prosperity and abundance and keep that flow going? Because we've got a beautiful flow coming in and we've grounded it last month. So how are we going to keep that flow going for the year? Divine abundance. So we're going to focus on it because we've got that flow going. We need to focus on that it's there and that we can come into alignment with it any time. The elephants always bring me to mind of the obstacle remover, Lord Ganesh. And this one here says, you were born to align with love's will, to follow the Tao, and to serve something beyond the ego. Learn to be abundance, not chase it. So once we're in that flow already, and we're coming into May, we're almost midway through the year, we don't need to chase anything. We're standing in the middle of the river. When you're standing in the middle of the river of the flow of abundance, there is no need to chase it. There is no need to go looking for what it is. It is all around you. And recognize that you were born in alignment. You weren't born out of whatever, out of alignment. You were meant to be here at the time that you aligned here, at the time that you manifested. You're meant to be here. You have a purpose and you have a reason for being here, and abundance is your birthright. So we're going to see who can help us to embody that and let go of that ego voice that's telling us, no, you're not enough. The ego always says no. I'm going to tell you, abundance always says yes. The soul always says yes. The ego always says no. So I know it's my ego if it says no, you can't do that. So who are we going to call in to help us with that? Which archangel is going to come in and assist us with jumping in and staying in the flow of divine abundance, of really knowing in our hearts that abundance is our birthright? Archangel Zadkiel. So Archangel Zadkiel is the archangel, or one of the archangels, because there's more than one, of the violet flame. So the violet flame is a gift from Archangel Zadkiel, from Saint Germain, from Lady Amethyst, from the archangels, the violet flame angels, to humanity to help us with transmuting that energy. So oftentimes we can go, okay, well, if I'm in the flow of abundance, what about those people that don't have? If I'm taking, now abundance means I can't be taking away from anyone. It means there's so much that there's more than enough for everyone. So transmuting those thoughts, calling the violet flame into your energy field at this time, inviting the violet flame in to cleanse out any of those lower vibrational thoughts. Let them be transmuted. They will be changed and shifted. Again, I talked about in my last podcast how we can change our own emotions, how we can shift and move our emotions quickly. And the violet flame is one of the best ways to do that. That's a gift from the angels. I can call the violet flame in and immediately feel the shift, feel the transmutation. If you listen on my YouTube channel, or if you're listening to this on YouTube now, there is a violet flame, about 6 minute, I think, a violet flame invocation on my channel that you can use to transmute anger and resentment, or you can substitute in whatever it is that you're trying to shift at that time. So if you find yourself falling out of that abundance mindset, immediately say, Archangel Zadkiel, violet flame angels, please transmute that energy, and you'll feel the shift right away. So going into June, and we're coming into the winter months in the Southern Hemisphere, but we're coming into summer almost. Some of the Northern Hemisphere will already be feeling summer. Newfoundland will just start to be thinking about maybe summer's going to arrive, but we will be having the solstice. And so what are we going to need to know to continue the divine flow of abundance for that solstice? I know the first thing I'm going to need to know right now is that I need more water. So drinking water while you're doing this, drinking water while you're doing any healing work is really important. I have a lovely client who comes on my circles, and she regularly says, Susan, you need some water when I'm channeling. So I appreciate that, Lisa. Thank you very much. And I hope you get the opportunity to watch this or to listen to the podcast. So we're into June. And what is it that we need to know to stay in the flow of abundance for June? Courage. And this one again came in the reverse position, which means really pay attention. Courage is not false bravado. Courage is actually feeling the energies, feeling those lower vibrational energies. Maybe I'm feeling frustrated because things aren't going quite the way I want, and I want to give up. Maybe I'm feeling some fear. Maybe I'm feeling these energies that just say I'm not enough. Or maybe that ego voice got louder. But courage says, I'm going to do it anyway. That's what courage is. We can call courage in to our solar plexus, and we can say, let me be open and courageous and take the steps that are shown. So calling in and asking for the courage, we can ask Archangel Michael to come in. I wonder if he's going to be the Archangel for this month. We can ask Archangel Michael to come in and to help us embody that courage so that we can actually say, I can do this. I know I can do this. So I just need that little extra energy. And you know, you can get that from those lower vibrational energies. Courage is one of those mid vibration. So it's still one of those energies that we need in the 3D density, but it's one of those middle energies. So we can take frustration and we can pull it up and allow it to shift into courage. I can be frustrated, but I'm going to take some of that and let it push me forward. And so we can ask for help with that as well. Sometimes it takes courage to ask for a little bit of help, to say, I really need you to show me how to do this. That's actually, it takes more courage to ask for help than it does to sit and wait, than it does to say, no, I can do this myself. That's not really courage. That it's courage when we need help, and courage to allow ourselves to get vulnerable. So we're going to ask, who's going to help us with that? Who's going to help us? Which archangel is going to help us to step into and stay in the flow of abundance courageously? And we've got Archangel Mallory. Archangel Mallory is one of the archangels that works with the soul star chakra. She is an archangel who's come forward to really help us to remember ourselves. When we stand in our power, oftentimes we feel like we're not really being true to ourselves to stand in our power. But Archangel Mallory reminds you to stand in your power as yourself. You don't need to have false courage. You only need to tap in to your heart, drop down into your center and say, okay, I'm me. I'm me. I'm authentic and I deserve this. I've worked hard for this. Remember not to rush into something because false bravado, bravery runs forward. Courage says, I'm going to stand here. I'm going to look around. I'm going to see what I can make of this, what's working for me, maybe let go of what's not working. But then I'm going to step forward. I don't need to rush into anything. This is working. I'm standing in the flow of abundance. So if you start to feel like maybe I've got some uncertainty, maybe this isn't quite working, which often happens, especially as we're coming into summer. It's kind of, I talk about when we plant those seeds in the spring. Now we're starting to watch some of them grow. Probably we're watching some weeds grow too. So maybe it's time to say, okay, what's working here? What weeds do I need to pull up? What seeds are growing? What can I nurture? And then step forward into what it is that you really want, because this is about you. There's so many people who'll tell you it's not about you. It's not, it is. You're the only one who can do for you. And you're the one that's taking your soul on this adventure. So it is about you because it's about your soul's adventure. You brought your soul on this adventure. So it's about you saying, okay, soul, what are we going to do next? So we're going into July. And here in July in Newfoundland, I host a lovely retreat at the Tree of Life, which, yes, it's based all the energies there. What's the right word? The design there, the Tree of Life is a beautiful place based on the Kabbalah and on sustainable energy and sustainable building. So it's a wonderful place for a retreat. And so I host three retreats a year there. My favorite, I think, must be the July retreat, though. So what is it that we're going to need to know to stay in the flow of abundance in July? And of course, by the time we're in the Southern Hemisphere, we're getting into winter. And oftentimes then we don't feel like we're in the flow. It's a little easier, I think, to feel like we're in the flow in those hot summer days. Loss. Now, I can hear you say, that's got nothing to do with abundance. Loss. Sometimes you learn true offering through loss. You make a passionate invitation for love to take over and bring her own plan instead of the ego's. We need to let go to make space for something new. So remember in January, Archangel Zariel came in. Archangel Zariel really helps us to deal with loss because Archangel Zariel reminds us of this cycle of life. We were just talking about for June, we were doing some weeding. So maybe in July, you may find that it's a little more difficult. Maybe things didn't go just the way that you planned the last 6 months. I'm rethinking this. We just need to be aware this one came in also in reversed. So you may find that July is a little bit more challenging and you need to let go of some of the things that you were really hoping were going to happen. Maybe it's a time to slow down. So we're going to ask what it is that which archangel is going to come in and help us with that and help us to slow down and basically to cut our losses. So if we have some loss happening in July, we need to be willing to let go of it, knowing that it's going to make room for something new. So who is going to come in and help us with that? Archangel Zariel. So Archangel Zariel is the archangel that works with the canine energy. So Archangel Zariel always reminds us of the importance of practicing the spiritual law. And the spiritual law is giving and receiving. It's a continuous flow. So it's recognizing that we need to love ourselves unconditionally We need to allow ourselves to receive. And oftentimes a loss brings an opportunity to receive. So it brings in the opportunity for us to receive support, for us to receive love from others. If you notice, Archangel Zariel works with the canine energy, as I said, and Archangel Zariel always reminds us that we need to find some loyal friends and have loyal friends around us. And we need to be loyal friends as well, because that's the only way we can attract. We can only attract what we are. So once again, we need to invite in Archangel Zariel to help us to open to receiving, to be willing to let go, recognizing that we need an out breath to have an in breath, and allowing someone to come in and help us. Most of us as light workers are helper beings. So we have a tendency to put a lot of time into helping others. And we have a tendency to push that help away, to say, oh no, I got this. Oh no, I got this, without recognizing how important it is to let others help us. Once again, I'm going to accept some help from Mother Earth, from the water energy, so that I can keep this going. And we're going to go into the second half. We're already into July, so into August. So going into August, I'm still trying to keep track of the Southern Hemisphere here. Going into August, we have Let Go in July. We've been coming into the year with love and standing in our power, having the courage to be our authentic self. So what do we need to know to continue the flow of abundance through into August? Change. Change is not my favorite thing, I gotta tell you. Change is a tough one. We need to be able to embrace the change. It says, when the ego finally sees the utter madness of trying to control everything, you come to a sacred crossroads in your own evolution. So August is going to bring us to a sacred crossroads. That loss is going to bring you to a place where you recognize, I don't need to be in control. I don't need to let my ego be in control. I don't need to let myself be in control. I don't need to be controlled. I don't need to be in control. My soul can lead this. Just like we came into the year, we let our soul lead. So we're going to allow our soul to continue to lead us. And we're going to see what Archangel is going to help us with that. Oh my goodness, Seraphim Seraphiel jumped out of the deck on that one. So Seraphim Seraphiel, again, is another one of the Seraphim angels, those 12, the angels that are really coming in to help us, because what the light workers have come to do, and the Seraphim angels always remind me of this, if you've got Seraphim angels popping up all over the place, you're likely one of the light workers who has come to help restore the blueprint of humanity. And so we all know, as light workers, we know that the blueprint has gone off course and that the restoration is already taking place. The Seraphim angels are here to guide that restoration. They are the ones who designed the plan, and they're here to help guide the restoration of the plan. So coming into August, and you see these beautiful rainbows, the rainbows always indicate that the storm is over. So Seraphim Seraphiel invites you to allow her to beam the rainbow, the turquoise ray she works with, to beam that rainbow energy, that turquoise ray, into your energy field, and to allow you to open even more to divine will. So accepting and embracing, I love how these two go together. Accepting and embracing that change is the indication that divine will is at work in your life. Those changes that have come are positive. They're moving you in that direction of flow with the divine. So this whole year is about being in flow with divine will, being in flow and in touch with the divinity within yourself. So coming into September, spring in the Southern Hemisphere, I'm getting better at that. Fall here in Newfoundland. And again, I have a fall retreat that I have as well. I have one coming up this spring as well. So you can reach out to me. You can leave me a message. You can leave a message on my website at www.soulawakeningsolutions. And You can get all the information on that there. So let's see what we have coming up in September. Liberation. The great thing is this one came in the pay attention to me position as well. So this means coming up in September, after we've gone through that change and that loss this summer, means that freedom's coming our way. Liberation is more than freedom. It's having shed all of that shadow. We are now free to fly. So it says the doubts and fears still come to you. Don't believe anymore that they are you. And that's so much the truth. Those doubts and those fears are the old whispers of the old paradigm that you may have been a part of at some time, that your ancestry was a part of, but you are no longer a part of the old paradigm. And those doubts and whispers are no longer a part of you. So letting go of them, September is going to bring that dragonfly freedom, that freedom that says, I have transformed and I have transformed into whatever I want to be. If I want to be a butterfly, I can be a butterfly. If I want to be a flower, remember, the seed transforms to a tree, transforms to a flower. So you've gone through that transformation, and it's time for you to embrace your freedom. And who's going to help you with that? Who's going to help us to embrace that new liberated self, that new empowered self that you've come to find in September? Archangel Zariel. So Archangel Zariel is one of the first archangels I called on 7 years ago when I was going through a very tumultuous awakening. You can read about that in my book if you're interested. I have a book called Empower Your Spiritual Awakening. And Archangel Zariel came to me during a full moon, and I accepted the task. You see this? This is the book of life. And in the book of life, in your Akasha, your Akashic records, you have signed up for a task, but you still kind of got to say, yeah, okay, I'm willing to continue and to proceed and do that, because you can take on that task in a different life or another life. People do break their karmic agreements all the time. So I'm not suggesting you break yours. I am suggesting you call on Archangel Zariel. Archangel Zariel, sorry. Archangel Zariel. Archangel Zariel is the archangel of the rainbow ray. And that's another indication that that storm is over. You have been liberated. But it means that you need to seek with wisdom. You need to recognize you will find whatever you're looking for. So be careful what you're looking for. Be cautious about saying, what is it I really want? Take a step back and say, I'm free now. Where do I want to go with this? What do I want to do? What am I trying to attract? Because now you've become a powerhouse. You're a powerhouse. You're a huge magnet. So you're going to attract with your thoughts continuously and constantly. So you want to be really careful and recognize that now's the time to hone down what I want, to really get clear about what I'm manifesting in this life, because it's manifesting very quickly for me now. So call on Archangel Zariel. Archangel Zariel helps psychics to open to their psychic gifts. So as your gifts start to awaken, you can awaken them, and you can call in the assistance of Archangel Zariel to do that. Once again, I have a meditation for that. I believe that's also on my YouTube channel. And I cover that in my first course, Empower Your Psychic Gifts. So what are we going to be looking forward to for, are we into October already? Okay, we only have a few more months of the year left. So let's see what October is going to bring. Ooh, allowing. This one kind of came out sideways. It jumped out, but it was not upside down, not right side up. So allowing. This one is about radical acceptance, but look at how she's dancing with that radical acceptance. It's a joyful thing. We often say radical acceptance is like, okay, fine. It's not. Radical acceptance is about, yes, I get it. I'm going to accept that. Yes, go ahead, give me that. Yes, go ahead, throw on that lottery win. Yes, I want that new job. I want that new challenge. So it's about accepting the new challenge, but it's about saying yes to you. It says yes to reality in every moment. Remember, the soul says yes, the ego says no. So radical acceptance is also about radically accepting all of that support, all of that freedom. Because now that you've been liberated and you have freedom, it's not about radically accepting the 3D paradigm, the old. It's about radically accepting the new, the beautiful new you that you are and that you're embodying. So who's going to help you with that? We're going to ask what archangel is coming in October to help us out. We've got the third of the seraphim angels in this deck, and that's Seraphim Seraphina. So Seraphim Seraphina reminds us again about our thoughts. We are the ones who are calling in all that help, all that divine assistance, all of these archangels, the ascended masters, the light beings that are coming to assist humanity with raising the vibration of humanity, with moving into 5D. They're here. They're communicating telepathically. Talk to any of the star children, the golden children. They're picking up so much telepathically, and they're communicating with us, the seraphim angels. They've felt us start to shift up to the 12D, up to where they are. We need to remember that our thoughts are still going out there into the ethers. We need to transmute those lower vibrational thoughts that still may be there and start to build that bridge to source. So focusing on your own rainbow bridge, yes, the 7 physical chakras, but start to look into the 12 chakras, to the higher chakras, to your soul star chakra, to your galactic gateway chakra. And if you're like, I have no clue what she's talking about, I do have a course for light workers, and I do teach more about the 12 chakra system. Or if you're not up for that, you can always ask Google. So start to look into the 12 chakras, start to look in your higher chakras, start to recognize your rainbow body and your rainbow bridge, and build that bridge, because that's how they're reaching us. Remember, they're coming down here. They're lowering their vibration to meet humanity as we raise ours. So in October, we're calling on Seraphim Seraphina. Going into November, as we start to bring the year, the 2024, into a close, let's ask what we need to know to continue the flow of divine abundance in November. Non-duality. I love it. So it's a reminder that we don't live in a dualistic world. We live on a planet, in a solar system, in a galaxy, in a universe. There's nothing dualistic about that. We live in a multifaceted world. We need to let go of the idea of duality. Let your authentic humanity shine forth while also bowing to the inner divine. You can become fluent at doing both. So it's really about tapping into the divinity again and recognizing the multifaceted being that you are. You're not either this or that. You're not either soul or ego. You're a multifaceted being in every ray and every color in between. So allowing yourself to recognize that and to recognize who you are and what the divine truly is and what this ascension is truly all about. So who are we going to ask to help us with that? What archangel is going to come in and help us to embrace our non-duality in November? We have Archangel Bakpi. I love it. Archangel Bakpi is the archangel that works most closely with the bird energy. Now, anybody can tell you birds, they have the most magical energy, and they truly embrace the fact that they are multifaceted beings. They have the ability to live on the land, to live in the air, to move about. They also have the ability, if you've ever noticed, to allow their higher selves to communicate and connect with us. So there's so much magical energy about the bird energy. I have to stop with this story. At one point, when I opened my business and I opened the place where I do my in-person work, I was on my way home, quite uncertain whether or not I should have rented a new space or I should have continued to work from here, from my home, what it was that I should be doing. And the entire sky above my house when I arrived home was filled with seagulls, which is the bird I most directly connect with my ancestors. So since then, I've really realized that I think the angels use the birds to communicate with us. So if you're recognizing a lot of the bird energy, a lot of feathers being dropped into your life, be sure to ask Archangel Bhakti what it is that they're trying to tell you. And this particular one is to listen to your intuition. Remember, at the very beginning, we started off with intuition, and this says, listen to your intuition. It is time for you to fly. It is time for you to let yourself take off, to really allow yourself to embody that 5D. So as you go through following the guidance through the year, by November, you're going to be living and embodying your 5D light. Your higher vibration is going to become your norm. You're going to be looking like, okay, how do I move to 7D? So coming into December, coming to the end of 2024, what do we want to know coming up to the end of 2024? Humility. I love it. What a great way to close off the year. When we start with intuition and we embody love, the most important thing we can do as we do all of this is to recognize, yes, we've given a gift to ourselves. Yes, we've received a divine gift. We can give that gift to others as well. We can give them compassion. We can give them love. We can give them support, and we can let them support us. So recognizing we didn't do it alone. Look at all the people in your life, whether it's a podcast you listen to, a smile you received from your neighbor, the neighbor that was there for you to smile at, all of that. We are all one, and we are all doing this as a collective. And it says, allow me, divine, to always accept the right assistance. I welcome your help in every way and delight in receiving it. Remember, no matter what, where the assistance is coming from, it's always coming from the divine. So it's always divine source energy that steps forward to help, and always with the right assistance, right place, right time. That synchronicity is an indication that you are in the flow of divine. And divine is abundance. So who are we going to ask to help us with that? Who's going to come in December to help us with the year? Somebody is jumping out to do that. Archangel Lavender. So Archangel Lavender, look, we have more birds as well. Archangel Lavender is saying, prepare for soul healing. And that's, I'm looking at my light shining on that, trying to find a place for you to be able to see it because it's such a beautiful card. It's prepare for soul healing, forgive and release, everyone. And Archangel Lavender is the archangel who works with the soul star chakra, which holds our karmic energy and our karmic connection to our soul's energy. But she also does this wonderful thing where if you want to allow that karmic healing to just be kind of done for you, if you're ready to release it, you just don't know how. I'm stuck and I don't know how to release this. You can call Archangel Lavender into your dreams and invite her in to help you to heal that karma in your dreams. She may give you a little wisdom or a little guidance, generally she will, around where that's coming up and what you can do to assist you with moving through it. Forgiving is the most important, yes, but it's really releasing after you do. Oftentimes we can forgive, but we're still going to carry that little nugget with us. Still going to keep that in my back pocket so that just in case they do it again, I can remind them that they did it before. Forgiving means it's not in your back pocket anymore, and everybody has a fresh start. So we need to allow the archangels to help us with that because we're back to humility again, and humility means that I'm going to need to forgive myself. I'm going to continue to be the human leading this soul or allowing this soul to lead me. And we're still going to continue to have that give and take sometimes. And we're going to continue to make mistakes because we need new challenges. We're going to see doors of opportunity just after we pass by them. Those are all human things. We're going to refuse the perfect help at the perfect time because we're in a grumpy mood. That's humility. Saying, oh no, I did it again. and asking for assistance. But really, most importantly, don't hold that stuff against yourself, because you need to really be able to forgive yourself for the mistakes you make, because they're the lessons that you bring forward to you. And if you can forgive yourself, it'll be much easier to forgive the others, because you recognize your own humanness. When you recognize your own humanness, it's really much easier to see it in someone else. That's it, I think. Yes, the angels are telling me, yes, you did great. So I really appreciate you joining me for this 24 cards. So we have 12 archangels. We have 12 cards of guidance from divine abundance. The archangel cards are Diana Cooper's cards, by the way. That's her Archangel Oracle deck. I absolutely love this deck. And again, I'm going to show you, I think. I'm hoping I have Diana's there. So that's the divine abundance deck. That's Tosha Silver's deck that I used for the abundance cards. And that's Diana Cooper's deck. That's the Archangel Oracle deck. And if you're listening to this on the podcast and you want to see the pictures, you can pop over to my YouTube channel, and you'll be able to see them there. So once again, thank you. And I hope you all have a very happy new year. And if you want to reach out, you can pop a message in the chat, or you can reach out and find me on my website or on my Facebook page. They're both Soul Awakening Solutions. And I look forward to talking with you all again very soon. I hope you all have an amazing, angel blessed rest of your year.